Tifu. Never mow your neighbor's lawn. I was mowing my lawn a couple weeks ago when I noticed that a tiny part of my neighbor's lawn was left uncut. I thought maybe their mower had run out of gas. So I did what any good neighbor would do. I knocked on their door and offered to mow the uncut part. The woman who answered the door happily said yes. And off I went to grab my mower to tidy up their yard. Few weeks go by. During that time, I put down new seed and fertilize my lawn. New grass is coming in real nice. All bare spots have been covered. There are some random weeds, but that's alright cause, if it's green it doesn't matter. My lawn's never been this thick and green before. So I decide to let it grow and enjoy it until mid-October before one final mow for the year. Wrong. I come home tired from work today only to realize the aforementioned neighbor had decided to return the favor while I was away. Apparently the woman had told her husband about my gesture a couple weeks ago and he was so happy to hear that he thought the best way to pay me back would be to mow my freshly seeded and fertilized lawn. Bless his heart though. How would he have known I was planning on keeping it long? But he also went ahead and removed all the weeds. So now I once again have a few bare spots. I just sat in my car for a good half hour, thoroughly amused by this hilarious sequence of events. Later, I went to my neighbor's house to thank him in person. All the while I was hurting on the inside. Good thing it was raining though so nobody could see my tears. TLDR. Never mow your neighbor's lawn. Especially if they are the kind who will return the favor. I made your neighbor's mistake too. I was a teenager trying to teach myself some woodworking skills and a neighbor in his late 50s had seen me working in my garage. He took the time to help teach me some basics and let me try out his far better tools in his workshop so I would know what to look for when I started getting more into it myself. He always had an immaculate lawn and cared for it in much the same way you described in your post. I knew squat about caring for a lawn at that point. His wife was battling late-stage cancer and he was away with her at the hospital for an extended period. I noticed his grass was growing pretty high and thought I'd return his kindness by mowing it for him. Turns out I mowed it too short and ruined the work he had put into making it look good for the colder seasons. I didn't know about my fuck-up until his wife passed though. My mom, who frequently talked with his wife, told me that when he came home and saw it cut he was initially pissed off because of his wasted effort. His wife had scolded him and said, "Don't you dare say anything to that sweet boy for trying to help you." So he did just that. Thankfully, he and I had a wonderful friendship and worked on a number of projects together after his wife passed until he remarried a few years later and moved. I mowed my neighbor's lawn a couple times while they were away for a few weeks. Their request, they returned the favor, despite my insistence that it was unnecessary, and mowed down half of my young, low bush blueberries. One time I was going on vacation in the summer. So I set up a hose timer and small hoses and sprayers to water all my plants while I was gone. A well-meaning but dumbass neighbor decided to water my plants for me, but was unable to due to the timer installed onto the hose spigot. So they just shut off the water and left. All my plants were dead when I got back. Had a similar thing happen to me. Anytime I let my grass get a bit long I'd come from work and it'd be cut. Sometimes including my fenced-in backyard. My neighbor was very friendly. Did all the leaves for everyone. Snowblower up and down the entire block. Sidewalks, driveways and all. Well, they go to the beach every year for 2 weeks. Their grass was getting a bit long towards the end. So I figure I'll be nice and cut it. I got a bit through and noticed His yard was a bit different than mine and my blade was a bit too low. At this point I didn't want to leave it inconsistent. So I finished up and there were quite a few lower, scalped, brown spots. I just hoped it'd fill back in before he got home. The night he got home from the beach I saw him put his sprinkler outside immediately. I don't think he ever cut my grass again. I walked outside as my neighbor was mowing his lawn. And he offered to mow mine as well. He used the chance to cut down the tree in the back that was leaning into our shared fence. It was a shitty, ugly tree that was going to be cut anyway. But the audacity. Grass is such a instigator plus can ruin friendships. Very long example, my grandparents used to be friends with their neighbors back when my mom was little. The kids would sometimes play together. Until the incident. My grandfather was very meticulous when it came to his lawn. As was the neighbor. Pop would alternate his mowing patterns, aka you mow horizontally, then the next time you mow you gotta go vertical. The neighbor accused him of mowing a couple inches into his yard. Pop denied this. Neither one would let up. Then the neighbor put stakes in the yard to mark the property line. Debate as to where the property line actually was turned into an argument. Hatred ensued. The kids could no longer play together. His wife would stare out the window at my grandparents' house. My nan would stare back sometimes. The man was totally fine with my dad though. We'd go to the store where the man worked plus he'd talk to dad. However, when I saw him working in his flower bed plus decided to try to strike up a conversation by formally introducing myself to him. We'd never once spoken despite me spending at least 50% of my childhood next door. Commenting on what a nice day it was. Plus complimenting his garden. He just kinda said, yep, plus very clearly didn't want me there. Both families hating each other for decades over some grass. WTF. My neighbor mowed the tiny strip between our yards that belongs to me as a favor. But in so doing mowed over the one plant I've planted since I moved in a year ago. Haven't had the heart to tell him. The grass is green on the other side, so let's mow it, a series. This story has motivated me. I agree with you. Never mow your neighbor's lawn. Because they will expect it every time. My husband offered to mow my neighbor's lawn because he's too nice. What we didn't realize was that she lives with her 4 grandsons. Teenagers. Her daughter. And has an adult son who visits often and a daughter and her husband who live down the street. Plus, they have a lawnmower in their garage collecting dust to teach her grandsons responsibility. My neighbor got them a dog instead of teaching them to mow the lawn and take care of the place. Woman shrugging, light skin tone. We stopped mowing their lawn after my husband got a new job that took him away from the house all day and some weekends. That has been almost a year and their lawn is overgrown and their teenage sons come and goes as they please. I was walking up the street towards my office one morning. There is a school on the way and as I came near a parked car a young girl alighted and walked in a huff, leaving the door open. I thought I'd help the mother, who was in a drop-and-go zone, and closed the door for her. It was only then I saw a second little girl inside wanting to get out, looking at me in astonishment. I ran away. Previously, on King of the Hill. I mow all the way to the neighbor's driveway because they are elderly. If I mow to the property line it will leave their lawn looking unmowed. Our city will measure your grass and if it is too long, mow it and send you a bill for $300. One of my neighbors had a medical issue so we all decided to mow his lawn. The foo was that all our mowers were set at a different height. We did a total hatchet job on his lawn. The next week we decided that one person would do the whole job. I honest thought this story was going to end with the neighbor not mowing that part of his lawn because of a bunny nest, and you learned the hard way. Wholesome fuck up. I have a riding mower, and at times I thought about mowing my neighbor's front yard sometimes. It is a damn good thing I did not, as the old owners had to install a brand new septic system, which the drain field in this drip emitter that is not deeply under the surface, and she says you cannot use a riding mower or it will damage the emitters. I would have been paying for a new system had I tried to be nice. For years I have mowed my neighbor's berms, and if I'm at work he will mow a small side part of mine. I'm a bit lawn proud. So, the neighbor unfortunately cuts it so low it has pretty much destroyed it. To top that off, he cuts the edges back further each time. He's narrowed it by at least 3 inches. Not overly concerned, but kinda wish he stopped. For your neighbor to pick weeds for you. Wow. Send them my way. That's a Pia to do. I was a teen who mowed our yard. But thistles are a favorite weed of mine. So I had let one grow about 2.5 feet tall. A man, who was obviously struggling financially, came by and offered to mow. My dad hired him for the sake of letting the man earn money. Grateful man went above and beyond, pulling the weed. I was devastated. He came by a few more times that summer, and my dad paid him to mow, whether the lawn needed it or not.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.